Emil Torres is an automotive salesman hoping to represent Belmopan at the parliamentary level. He has been in the business of dealing with vehicles and automotive parts for the past 2 decades. The Belmopan resident is now offering himself as the next U.D.P standard bearer for his city. An open convention will be held at the UB Gymnasium on Sunday. But who is Emil Torres really, and what does he have to offer to residents of the Garden City, besides his knowledge of vehicles?
First and foremost, Emil Torres is not a traditional politician. Emil Torres is bringing new blood, new energy, new face, new charisma, new energy, positive energy to Belmopan. We know to speak evil of none, negative of none of our competitors, none of our opponents. We just stay positive and trying to, after we pass this stage, to work with all residents of Belmopan, moving forward in Belmopan, for Belmopan. We want to make Belmopan the capital city that it should be.
This morning we caught up with Torres on the campaign trail in Las Flores. He and his entourage of campaigners were going to door, greeting residents and sharing his vision for the capital city. How do you think you stack up against your opponents? And I have to bring them up. We're talking Colonel Lovell, who's experienced in government administration at some of the highest levels. And then we're talking about a seasoned politician like John Saldivar himself. What's your experience in politics?
Oh, I don't have the experience like the latter person in terms of politics. The other one in terms of being of highest level, whatever you want to call it, that's perfectly fine. But honestly speaking, both of those guys are at the end of their careers. One has actually retired twice. I think he needs to stay in a retirement. That is my personal opinion on that. We want new blood. We want new energy. Emil Torres is a seasoned salesman, is a seasoned businessman in the community throughout Belize. I am known all over Belize, not just in Belmopan. 21 years in the auto industry, selling brand new vehicles, over 1,000 brand new vehicles to all government entities, to embassies, to individuals, families, throughout Belize.
Torres is relying on his self-proclaimed countrywide popularity as a salesperson, coupled with his charisma, to help him get his message across to the residents of Belmopan. He has been able to win over the support of Ralston Fraser, a former Belmopan city administrator who worked under U.D.P Mayor Khalid Belize during a period when John Saldivar was the area representative for that constituency.
I make it a habit to get to know who my children's friends are, who they hang out with and stuff, where they live, who their parents are, you know. And so when I recognized that it was Emil Torres, he and I met at a function that the school was having, and based on the upbringing of his son, on what I was seeing in his son and who that boy was, I hope still is, for me it was hands down. Certain behaviors of your children, certain discipline in your children is going to reflect how involved the parent is in their children's life. And I had determined that, you know, this man seems to be involved in his children's life. He visited the school, etc., etc. And fast forward to now, with some in-betweens that I had gotten to know about him, his business, he established his business in Belmopan, etc., etc. As far as I had known then, even through to now, he has a very good reputation in business. And when he had asked my opinion if he should enter this arena, I definitely gave him my 100% support.
What we have learned about Emil Torres up to this point is that he is a transplant to Belmopan, a salesman and a family man. But what about his vision for the city? Can Emil Torres deliver on the needs of his rapidly growing municipality as it pertains to issues of crime, job opportunities, housing, and infrastructure, just to name a few?
Yes, jobs. That is a big issue. But the problem with that is that we look at this approach where we send our children to universities and high school and further. They get degrees and then they come back and do what? Look around Belmopan. What are the biggest development happening right now? Call centers. I know they bash call centers. I'm not saying nothing wrong with call centers, but it seems like that is the only employment we know. People coming out of universities with bachelor's degrees and they have to go to a call center, go work. You know, we don't have this mentality as an entrepreneur, as a young entrepreneur, as a self-employed, I can tell you. I wish there was access, ready access, easy access to financing for me to grow my business. What about those people that want to start their own business?
Torres says that most of the finance for his campaign is coming out of pocket. He categorizes himself as the underdog of this upcoming open convention, a title he proudly carries. But despite all the confidence he enjoys from his circle of supporters, his party leader, Moses Shine Barrow, does not think he is the man for the job. We asked Torres about Barrow's public endorsement for Colonel Lovell.
I have the utmost respect for his office. I have the utmost respect for Shine Barrow. That was his decision. I can't free him or fault him for that. He chose. I wouldn't, if I were or become one day ever become party leader, I wouldn't choose size, not for a convention. You know, I mean, you're supposed to support and wish the best of the party. And if you have your personal preference, then you keep that behind closed doors. I don't think it has ever happened where a party leader for a convention has ever publicly endorsed a candidate.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.